Meta just pulled off something nobody predicted. They quietly shut down their old AI and replaced it with something that writes code independently for hours while you walk away. Wait, Meta? A coding agent? That's exactly what most people missed. Today's tool is Meta's new coding agent, MuseCode. I'll break down what it does, how it works, and what sets it apart. Quick backstory. You know Meta through Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Their AI was called Llama, free and widely used. But back in April, Meta quietly retired Llama and launched a new model lineup called MuseSpark, along with a new division, Meta Superintelligence Labs, led by Alexander Wang. MuseSpark launched in April, version 1.1 in July, and now 1.2 alongside today's subject, MuseCode. So, what is MuseCode? A coding agent that lives directly in your terminal, the text window where you type commands instead of clicking menus. You describe what you want, it plans the work, writes code across your whole project, checks its own output, actually functions, and keeps going for extended stretches without supervision. Here's what caught my attention. In Meta's demo, someone fed it a fly-through video of a house, and MuseCode turned that footage into a complete booking and landing page. I immediately thought of applying that to the AI Profit Boardroom, feeding it a walkthrough clip, and letting it generate a landing page showing exactly what members get, one input producing an entire page automatically. And that's where this gets interesting. You're no longer limited to asking AI for a single block of code or copying snippets back and forth between a chatbot and your project. The idea is that you can hand over a larger outcome, then let the agent work through the individual steps required to get there. Now, under the hood. First feature, background agents. Think of it as a small team, rather than a solo worker. MuseCode deploys helper agents that stay active throughout your session, remembering what they've already reviewed, so they're not restarting from scratch constantly. Most AI tools wipe memory after every step. These don't. Second feature, for larger jobs, MuseCode splits work apart, spinning off agents that each operate in their own private copy of your project, using a Git technique called worktrees, essentially safe sandboxes. Several agents can build different pieces simultaneously without conflicts, and your real files stay untouched until ready. Zuckerberg demonstrated it building 6 game features at once with none crashing into each other. Third feature, every action gets logged before it happens. Every plan, edit, command. If it crashes midway through a job, nothing is lost. It resumes exactly where it stopped. It also ships with shortcuts, one that turns your idea into a plan, one that stress tests that plan before building, and one that pushes toward your goal until finished. Opening a terminal-based agent the first time can feel overwhelming. That's why we built support for tools like this inside the AI Profit Boardroom, complete setup walkthroughs, live coaching calls where you bring your actual errors for real answers, plus a roadmap and prompt library so you know what to build first. Bigger picture. Why does this matter? Coding agents were mostly in Anthropic and OpenAI space. Claude Code and Codex were the dominant names, with Meta on the sidelines. Now Meta's in the ring too, and when a company this large jumps in, the whole space accelerates. More competition usually means these tools improve faster. The companies aren't just competing on who has the smartest model anymore. They're competing on who can actually help you go from an idea to a working result with the least amount of manual effort. Staying grounded, though, on Meta's own benchmarks, MuseCode still trails Claude Opus 5 running inside Claude Code across every chart shown. It beats its own earlier versions and edges past a couple of competitors on specific tests, but it isn't the new leader. It's solid and fast, still in beta, so expect rough edges. Who's this for? If you code, or you're learning to, it's worth exploring. Especially for large, messy projects, needing an agent that grinds for hours. Never touched a terminal? This isn't your starting point. Build up gradually first. Already using Claude Code or Codex? Adding MuseCode to the rotation makes sense. Run the same task on each and compare. Using it is simpler than it sounds. Open your terminal, run one install command, describe what you want in plain language. It returns a plan. Review it, flag anything off, and it revises before writing code. Give the go-ahead. And it builds while checking its own work continuously. If it hits an obstacle, it logs its position and keeps moving. You're not writing code, you're directing it. And that's probably the biggest takeaway here. The better you can explain the outcome you want, the more useful these agents become. You still need to review the work, but instead of manually handling every small step, you can focus more on the result and let the AI handle more of the execution. 2 more uses I'd try for the AI Profit Boardroom: an onboarding flow building a welcome sequence for new members, planning and testing every page before launch, and a searchable dashboard pulling together every guide and replay we've made, built and tested end-to-end automatically. Quick tips before wrapping up. Start small. Give it one clear task first, rather than your biggest project. Use the planning feature. Review before it builds. Catching mistakes there beats catching them after code is written. Watch the data trade-off. Meta's free contributor tier reportedly lets them use your work for training, so check settings before working on anything sensitive. Don't abandon what's already working. Test MuseCode alongside your current tools, and keep whichever performs better. The goal isn't to use every new AI tool that launches. It's to find the ones that actually save you time and help you get from an idea to a finished result faster. And coding agents like MuseCode are another sign that AI is moving beyond simply giving answers and starting to actually do the work.